step by step, bro style. Now, first, we're gonna make this massive great hammer into a magic item, which is simply an item that has two modifiers, an item that can take a prefix and a suffix, and it also gains a name. Wow, isn't that cool? Going back to the massive great hammer, we now need to turn it into a magic item, and we can see that these orbs have faces in them. The first one being the Orb of Transmutation, upgrades an item to a magic item with one modifier. So that is just what we're gonna do to our massive great hammer, bro. If we press left alt on our keyboard, it gives us a little bit more information, and it tells us that the modifier that we have is a tier 1 modifier and is also a suffix, which means that it's one of the bottom 3 modifiers. Moving on to the next step, we will be grabbing an Orb of Augmentation, which states augments a magic item with a new random modifier. So we pick it up and just take it over to our hammer. It added a prefix of fire damage. Now this weapon has 2 modifiers, and it can hold up to 6 modifiers. A magic item, which is a blue named item, can only hold 2, and we need to make it into a rare before we can add more modifiers to it. Now the top 3 modifiers, which are the prefixes, will be mostly damage or base related depending on what item you're trying to craft on, and then the 3 modifiers at the bottom, which are the suffixes, will mainly be supportive modifiers to whatever that item is. Right, so now that it has 2 modifiers, let's make this item into a rare weapon using a regal orb. It will upgrade a magic item into a rare item, adding 1 modifier. Let's just grab that regal orb and make our item into a rare. Now from here, you also have the option of grabbing a greater essence, and you can just read what it does in it. Martial weapon, increase attack speed. If I wanted this weapon with increased attack speed, I would grab the greater essence and then tag it, and it would make it into a rare item, just like the regal orb. So it has the same functionality in that regard. So it is important to go over what your essences are capable of. However, we're not going to do essence crafting here, just like we're not going to do omen crafting. That'll be towards the end, after school stuff. Going back to the regal orb, which makes the item into a rare and adds a 1 more modifier, we can see that our item now has a yellow name, which indicates its rarity. By pressing left alt for more information, we can see that it now has 2 prefixes, which means it can only take 1 more prefix and 2 more suffixes. In order to do that, we can grab a greater exalted orb. It augments a rare item with a new random modifier. Now on mouse and keyboard, if I press and hold shift and pick up the greater exalted orb, I can add more than 1, and then we can just keep adding, right, until we have our 6 modifiers. Now you can see that we have 3 suffixes and 3 prefixes, totaling to a max of 6 mods. Sometimes you'll see items with hybrid mods, so it looks like they got extras, but 6 modifiers is the max on any given item. However, some modifiers are hybrid, and the way you can tell is on the right side. You can tell they're tiers, and sometimes it'll be combined. For instance, if I go over to my chest piece, you can see that the tier 1 is combined with this line of text on top of it, and there is no break in the middle the way there is between each individual tiers. Now that we have our 6 modded item, we can now go over the chaos orb. It removes a random modifier and augments a rare item with a